Welcome back to Squawk Box. At CNBC's Evolve Global Summit on Tuesday, I spoke with Priscilla Sims-Brown. She's the president and CEO of Amalgamated Bank, about how employees and consumers want to see action on social issues, in particular on gun reform. She's an advocate of tracking firearm purchases through the creation of a merchant category code to help prevent acts of gun violence. And I asked Priscilla about how this could make a difference.
Every entity, every retailer has a merchant code associated with that business. And that merchant code doesn't go to the SKU level. It doesn't tell us what you purchased within that business, but it tells you that you made a purchase from a particular type of business. We're all used to and actually benefit from the use of merchant codes and other information, the use of data to prevent fraud, to prevent things like human trafficking, to prevent mortgage fraud. In the case of gun stores, there are no merchant codes. Well, there are merchant codes for the hair salon and the shoe shine place and every other retailer. There's no merchant code for gun stores. If we did have a merchant code for gun stores, we could detect patterns that would indicate that there had been something unusual going on.
And Joe, this is something that I've been writing and talking about, as you know, for a couple of years, the opportunity that banks can use some of this data to try to help mass shootings and straw purchases and things like that in advance, hopefully without infringing on any kind of Second Amendment issues.
These would be different issues, though, you'd be infringing on, wouldn't it be?
There's no infringement here. This is literally just
anybody that would be reported.
No. It's not about reporting.
What would be a weird? What would raise a red flag for?
What happens here?
Yeah.
And I actually think this is completely a bipartisan situation. We have merchant category codes for a hair salon, a nail salon. Every airline has a merchant category code. Everybody has merchant category codes for all sorts of things. What is the one industry that doesn't?
But what is it? What would it allow you to do?
What it would allow you to do is to allow the banking system and enforcement to effectively see patterns. And when you see somebody, oftentimes, and we have some earnings coming, but oftentimes before a mass shooting, unfortunately, as you know, 77% of mass shootings are legally bought guns, oftentimes within 3 weeks of the mass shooting.
Right.
And when people do that, they're not just buying guns, they're buying body armor, they're buying all sorts of things. They're buying jewelry, very strange and unusual purchases, at least on a regular, related to what they historically have bought.
Right.
You get to see patterns, and you'll be able to identify those patterns. Currently, because of what's happened here, and because there is no MCC code for this, there's no real way to actually be able to identify these things in advance. And I am convinced
for a lot of these things, there's been unbelievable patterns online that they're so obvious that they get totally overlooked. So why would this be any different?
Because this is probably the best way to actually be able to figure it out.
If I see something online of this guy, these previous two guys carrying an AR-15 and talking about these guys, it was telegraphed so clearly with these guys, and nothing happened anyway. So I don't see how.
The first thing the FBI does after one of these terrible tragedies is they go and they look at the financial documentation. That's the first thing they do. And oftentimes you could see the patterns if you could look at them.
But you could have seen the patterns online with all this stuff too, and nothing happened.
In some cases, but this is probably...
And even the father the night before talked to the kid. I mean, it's
Look, I'm not saying that there weren't other signs. I'm saying this is... But this is a clear sign and something that you could do that would not infringe on anybody's rights to do anything, but would at least give us potentially an opportunity to have a heads up in a way that I don't think we have today.
Incorporate it with the red flag stuff.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.